Hello everybody, welcome back to another review here on my channel. This is early on a Saturday morning. Hopefully this review doesn't suck. This is one of those types of days where I had every intention of sleeping in, but my internal alarm clock decided differently and wanted to wake me up at 7 in the morning, which is fine. You know, I have no problem with a long, productive day. But I figured, you know, why not come in and do a few reviews, kick off the day on a high note. I've traded in the beer for a nice cup of coffee. Gotta have the coffee in the morning. Today I'm going to be talking about a very unique film. I can't say I've quite seen a film like this one before, and it's Terrence Malick's latest film, The Tree of Life. I did not know anything about this film until very recently. It was nominated for several Academy Awards. I don't believe it won any. You know, I'm not hip to Terrence Malick stuff. You know, he did Badland, Days of Heaven, The Thin Red Line. He hasn't done a lot of films, and when he does them, they're usually spaced a lot of years apart. But you know, I was reading up on this, and I kept hearing it being compared to 2001: A Space Odyssey. So it really intrigued me because that's one of my all-time favorite films. So I figured, okay, I've got to give this movie a shot. I have to check it out. So I went ahead and picked it up, and I mean, I haven't seen a movie like this. I mean, it's very unique in the way it's shot, in the way the story unfolds. It's very different. I mean, it's very different. And I mean, it has a story. It basically tells a story of the O'Brien family. It's Mr. and Mrs. O'Brien, played by Brad Pitt and Jessica Chastain. And basically, Miss O'Brien, like, you're watching this and you're hearing this narrative, like there's a lot of quiet talking in this movie. And she's saying that, you know, there's two ways to go in life. There's grace and there's nature. And grace is basically like the better way to go in life. Like, you go by nature, you know, it's not always good. And so basically, you know, the O'Briens, Mr. and Mrs. O'Brien, they represent those two opposites. Like, Miss O'Brien represents grace. You know, she's the loving, the angelic type, the motherly type. And then Mr. O'Brien goes more by nature. He's abusive in ways. He's a disciplinary. He's very harsh on his kids, very hard on them. I mean, you can tell he loves them, but he's very hard on them. So both of them represent those two ways of life that this movie is telling you there is. Brad Pitt was phenomenal in this, I thought, as Mr. O'Brien. It's definitely a career-defining role for him. I thought he was very good in it, very good in it. Like, I didn't think there was one weak scene with him whatsoever. Jessica Chastain, the same way. She's very good, very just nurturing, a real motherly type. And like I said, angelic too. She just has this peace and calmness to her. Just the exact opposite of Brad Pitt's character. But the one that really amazed me the most was Hunter McCracken, that played young Jack. He was an excellent kid actor in this. Like, some of the emotions that he had to show and go through in this, I thought were fantastic. Like the way, you know, his father, you know, the way his father treats him and stuff, it really makes him resentful. It really makes him hateful and mean, and he gets rebellious. And the different emotions that Hunter has to show and convey to make this work, I thought he pulled it off excellent. And then, you know, it shows Jack later in life, and that is of course played by Sean Penn, which is in it only briefly, actually. Total running time, I mean, he's probably in it like 5 minutes, but it's in different spaces in the film. You know, the story then, it jumps around a lot. It shows the O'Briens with their kids and stuff, and, you know, then all of a sudden it jumps all the way back, like to the beginning of time, like showing the cosmos and showing the earth being formed and showing dinosaurs. Yes, it shows dinosaurs. So yeah, it's just very unique. And I mean, even saying this stuff, some people may say that's spoilers, but I can tell you right now, it doesn't matter. You could know every single detail of this movie going into it and still be either amazed or flabbergasted or whatever at what you see, because it's so unique. I mean, just not in the way that it's told and the story is and everything. It's the cinematography, the way it's shot, the way it looks, it's just unique. It's just different. And I mean, it's really hard to explain. I mean, this is the type of film you could watch 100 times and have 100 different ways of saying what it's about, really. I mean, but to me, what I got out of it is it's just basically about existence, about life. It deals with death also. It deals with loss, but I mean, it's basically just about existence. I mean, it's showing you what it is to exist and the things that you go through and the things that you experience in existence, you know, and sometimes you have hard decisions to make, and it basically is showing you, you know, that we have a free will to decide and to do as we will. You know, that's basically what I got out of the film. Now, like I said, you can ask somebody else and they'll probably say something different than that, I'm sure, because it's just, there's no one way of looking at this story. It isn't really like, I guess you could say that it's more of an experience watching this than anything. Like, you know, you're not going to watch this and then have everything wrapped up in a neat little package at the end and say, okay, that was the story. No, this movie is an experience to behold that will make you think. I mean, it's when I was watching it, I didn't know what to think. Like, you know, I was like, this is really different. I haven't seen anything like this, you know. But as it went on, you know, I kept thinking about it. When it was over, I just kept, you know, I found myself still thinking about it a lot, and you know, thinking about certain scenes, certain ideas of the movie. It really sent my head spinning, and I love movies like that. This is definitely not something that everybody's going to enjoy by any means. I mean, this is a really polarizing movie. Probably more so than I've seen in a long time. Like, if you go on any website, if you go on IMDb, if you go on any movie review website or anything where people can comment on stuff, or blogs or whatever, you will see one person say that, like, this is the greatest and most brilliant film in decades, and then right below that you'll see somebody say this is the worst film ever, do not ever watch it. I mean, it really polarizes people to such opposite extremes, and after I watched it, I can really see why. I can understand that. I can see how people would say this movie is boring, it's dull. I mean, I can understand all that stuff. To me, I loved the way this story unfolded, and I loved the way that it was told and how it was so unique and different and even optimistic in life. You know, it seems like nowadays there's too many things that focus on negative aspects of life and, you know, end with, you know, downer endings and stuff like that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that at all, but because this wasn't that way, it was kind of opposite of that and was more optimistic, it felt like a breath of fresh air. I mean, it really did. You know, you can definitely see science in this a lot. I mean, there's times where you feel like you're watching the Nature Channel or something, or National Geographic or something like that, with some of the scenes of nature that they're showing, just for extended periods of time too. You know, so it deals with science, it deals with nature, it deals with religion a lot. You know, and it's basically coming from a creationist standpoint, I would say. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what Terrence Malick was going for, but you certainly don't have to believe in creationism. You don't have to believe in God or anything to still enjoy this film. Just because I say it does have religious themes, there is a religious tone to it, I don't think that matters. I don't think that aspect is going to discourage anybody and say, well, I didn't like how it was preaching to me, because it doesn't feel like it's preaching. It's to me, it's just laying out these items before you, and then you decide what you're seeing. I mean, that's how I took it, at least. It's a very artistic film. There's so many scenes in this movie that would just stick with you, that's just like, holy crap, man. I mean, it's like you're watching a collage of just paintings. Like, you know, I've heard somebody say that you can pause this movie and like take the image and print it and put it on your wall, like, throughout this whole film, and that's really true. I mean, it really is true. The cinematography and look to this film is incredible. Terrence Malick was able to get Douglas Trumbull out of retirement to do the visual effects. He did 2001: A Space Odyssey, Blade Runner. So if you've seen those films, you already know going into this what to expect visually, and it's just breathtaking. I mean, to me, the whole film is basically more of a work of art than it is a film. I mean, really, it's like, one thing I was thinking as I watched this is, how art galleries and stuff, how they'll have like certain paintings by this certain person one week or whatever, like a week stay of certain person's paintings. And how you can, if you're into that type of thing and you go in and look at those, you look at paintings and they give you different feelings, different emotions, and it's all wrapped up, under this one person's art. That's basically what I felt watching this. I felt like this is Terrence Malick's collection of paintings of art. I mean, it really did. It felt that way to me totally. And that's why I think you can get so many different feelings and emotions out of this film. Would I recommend this film? I can't say. I mean, this is the type of film that I would have a really hard time recommending it to people because of it being so different. And I already know that most people that I know will not enjoy this film at all. They will probably hate it. But if you're adventurous in your movie viewing habits, if you like stuff that's left of center, if you like stuff that's really different and out there, if if you don't mind a slower paced film that slowly unfolds to you, that kind of opens itself up to you as it's going along and you're experiencing it more than you're being told what to think. If all of those things sound appealing, you definitely give this a chance. If you like 2001: Space Odyssey, give this a chance. Now, in my opinion, this is nowhere near in the same league as 2001: Space Odyssey. I hold that film in such high regard, but I can see the similarities in that of it being about life, because I think that's 2001: Space Odyssey has that theme also of evolution of life, but that focuses more on I guess you could say space and stuff like that, but this has a more human element to it. But like I said, 2001: Space Odyssey is way up here, and this one's still down here. But it definitely, I can see why it's compared to that film for sure. So, guys, it's like I said, I have a hard time recommending it. It just depends on your viewing habits, and even if all those things that I mentioned sound appealing to you and wanting to check this out, you still may not like it. It's hard to say. It's a polarizing film, but I think that this is a film that will get more acclaim and recognition as the years pass. I really think so, but we'll see. It's hard to give this a movie rating. I really want to, but shoot, man, I really don't know. I honestly haven't thought about a score on this one. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I'm thinking I could probably even go a little bit higher than that because I really, really enjoyed it. But for right now, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Now, if you come back 2 years from now, it'll probably be higher. I don't see it getting lower. But it's just a type of film that you learn more, I think, as you watch it about the movie and, just about yourself, really, I think. So 8 out of 10 as far as the movie goes. Now, the picture quality on this, guys, I don't know how else to say this except it is beyond phenomenal. This is in the top 5 best looking Blu-rays I've ever seen. It is flawless. It is incredible. Like I said, every single frame in this movie is just a work of art, and sometimes for several different reasons. This is no question 10 out of 10 for picture quality. This is one of the best reference material Blu-rays I've seen. If I'm wanting to show somebody what a Blu-ray looks like, this will now be the first one that I go to, hands down. Some of the scenes in this where they're showing like the earth being formed and the volcanic stuff that's going on, and then some of the stuff with with the dinosaurs. Well, I should say the dinosaurs themselves, CG, I didn't really like them. They didn't really look that great. But some of the scenes that they show with Earth during the dinosaur time period is just fantastic looking. Certain shots where they focus on flowers and stuff, like it's you know, I'm making this sound more frilly than it is by saying that, but I do remember one scene with sunflowers, sunny day, there's sunflowers, and there's a certain shot. It is just, holy crap, man. I mean, it has to be seen to be believed. It's truly incredible. So yeah, guys, 10 out of 10 for picture quality on this. Now, as far as the extras go, it doesn't really have a whole lot. I'm trying to think of what all it had on it here. There wasn't much. It just had Exploring the Tree of Life, which is just a half-hour long making of documentary. You know, I guess Terrence Malick, he's a really recluse. He doesn't come out a lot and talk. Like, I guess he's never done an interview from what I've heard. So yeah, he's not on here, but a lot of the cast and crew talk about the making of the film. It's very interesting. You know, they tell their ideas, what they think it's about, and all this stuff. Very interesting. The extras on this, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It's pretty, you know, standard, nothing at all mind-blowing. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for the extras. Now, this overall package, just amazing. Has a really nice slipcover, really awesome. This is the DVD, Blu-ray, digital copy deal. Just a fantastic package overall. The film, I loved it. The picture quality, superb beyond superb. Could have been a few more extras on it, but I'm not going to complain with how awesome everything else is. So overall, guys, I give this a 9 out of 10. So I would like to highly recommend it, but I'm not going to do that because I know some people watching this are definitely not going to like it. So I give it a guarded high recommendation. I'll say it that way. So yeah, guys, that's Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life. I hope this review didn't suck too early. I hope this review didn't suck too much with it being this early in the morning. See, I can't even form sentences right now, so I shouldn't probably be doing this, but oh well. I'm Jason, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good one.